In the deep pit, the woman removed her pants. The man glanced at her, immediately walked over to pick up the pants, then quickly took off his own pants. But then he put his shoes back on, carried both pairs of pants toward a puddle, placed the pants in the water to completely soak them. Once the pants were fully saturated, he walked to a pile of sticks, pulled the belt from the pants, used it to tightly bind two thick sticks together. Finally, he took the pants and securely wrapped them around the sticks. With all preparations complete, the man looked up at the 16-foot wall before him, then grabbed the stick contraption and threw it forcefully toward the top. But the stick slid back down, nearly hitting him in the head. Yet the man didn't give up. He gritted his teeth, using all his strength to throw the sticks again. This time the ends of the sticks landed perfectly on the pit's edge, suspended in midair like a bridge. The man quickly pulled on the clothing to test its stability. Once confirmed secure, he placed one foot against the wall, then struggled upward with all his might. The smooth wall made each step incredibly difficult. The sticks spanning the edge gradually began to bend. The man hurriedly increased his pace, using both hands and feet to climb with all his strength. Just as he was about to reach the pit's edge, his foot suddenly slipped. His right leg slammed hard against the wall. The man cried out in pain, hanging on desperately with both hands gripping the fabric. But in the next moment, intense pain caused him to collapse to the ground. Continuously moaning, the woman rushed forward to check on him, but the sight before her made her gasp. A gruesome wound appeared on the man's right leg, a large chunk of flesh missing from his knee. Seeing how serious the situation was, the woman didn't hesitate. Immediately tore a piece of fabric from the sticks, soaked it in water, then pressed it against the man's wound. But her actions, instead of easing the man's suffering, made him feel even worse. The woman was shocked by her own ineffective treatment, not knowing what to do next. She could only stand there frozen. However, what made matters worse, while she was busy tending to the man's wound, rain suddenly began falling from the sky, and as the downpour intensified, water continuously flowed into the deep pit. The woman couldn't swim. She became terrified, fearing she would drown in this pit. But the man opened his arms and smiled, watching the water pouring into the pit. He calmly led the woman to one end of the pit, taking her to higher ground to wait quietly. Soon the water level gradually rose. The man, worried about the woman's inability to swim, wanted her to grab onto hanging tree branches. But at that moment, the woman suddenly slipped, falling heavily into the water, struggling desperately. As she was about to go under, the man became extremely anxious, quickly jumped into the water, struggled to reach the woman's side, held her tightly, refusing to let go. The two of them soaked in waist-deep water, desperately waiting. If the water got just a bit deeper, they could use its buoyancy to float out. However, they never imagined. After all their waiting, the rain suddenly stopped. The man felt helpless, but still optimistically reassured her. If they just waited longer, it would surely rain again. They would soon escape their predicament. But even after all the water had dried up, the next heavy rain never came. Worse still, the man's wound, immersed in dirty water for so long, became infected with bacteria, causing thick black patches to appear around his eyes. This terrified the woman, and what horrified her even more was the man, as if gone mad, kneeling on the ground, desperately drinking the dirty water, then retrieving something from the water and gnawing at it constantly. The woman backed away, frightened. She cautiously called out the man's name, but as the man slowly turned around, the woman saw something terrifying. Her eyes widened with horror.